Alrighty, community, here's another episode of Genuine Discussions with the GM. Today we have our Interim Director of Public Safety. We have a few frequent asked questions or questions that have come up to us recently, and we'd like to address it. So the first one is, residents have brought forward some concerns in regards to electric bikes on association property and in the community. What is public safety doing to help with these issues?
So public safety is addressing these issues by making contact with the individuals on the bikes, especially when they're on association properties. We immediately make contact with these individuals and advise them they're not allowed to be on our property. We do advise as well that a lot of these times they're juveniles that are on these bikes, and to be operating a motorized vehicle, whether that be electric or an engine-based one, you do have to have a driver's license, and they tend to go up and down the streets. We're working hand in hand with the California Highway Patrol at this time. We immediately contact the California Highway Patrol when we have issues with these people that are out on the street doing tricks, causing traffic hazards, so that they can get in here as fast as they can. But also, we are also, as a public safety department, trying to locate where these individuals live, so we can hold them accountable.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that insight. So obviously, people should contact CHP. They should call the association public safety department.
Correct.
In the event that they see these individuals out there, and we're looking to hold them accountable. So the next question I have, let's talk about lake violations. Obviously, it's summertime. You guys got a lot of stuff going on out there.
Yep.
We have about a 200-acre lake. And so public safety have received questions on where the no-wake zone is. Can you describe where that is and anything about no wake?
Yeah, absolutely. So anything wayward side, closest to the land, is going to be the no-wake zone. When the no-wake zone has these white pillar buoys, there's a common misconception that as soon as you pass that, the no-wake zone ends.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's not the case. This is just a sign to show you that you've entered the no-wake zone. We want to make sure that residents are compliant and understand that the no-wake is there for all the residents that are on the lakefront communities, so they can still enjoy their time on their docks and, don't cause any damage to those properties. We have had a lot of reports this summer, as summers pass, that there's people speeding in the no-wake zone. We are making contact with people constantly, trying to make sure that they understand where the no-wake zone is. We issue verbal warnings. If there is more occurrences, obviously that can lead to citation, but we're looking for compliance ultimately.
Gotcha.
We want to make sure people understand where it is, how to operate in it, and obviously just because you're going 5 miles an hour doesn't mean you can't still create a wake. You still need to go at a minimum speed that doesn't create a wake.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate that information. The next question that I have is, our community loves to, what I call, live their best life, right? So speaking of boats, speaking of being out there on a vessel, obviously there's drinking going on. Let's talk about being intoxicated while operating a vessel. Can you tell us what would happen if someone is caught operating a boat and is under the influence of alcohol or controlled substance? What would happen?
Well, ultimately, we want people to have fun. I want people to drink responsibly, be out there, have a good time, and still abide by our rules and regulations. But, we still have to address the fact that some people can take that further. And, it could change your life. It is just like getting a DUI in a vehicle. It can change someone else's life. We don't want someone to get injured out there. We don't want people to have property damage. Ultimately the sheriff's department can get involved and be out on our lake, and if we get multiple occurrences that are happening, they can designate an officer to our lake. They could start pulling people over. They could start issuing DUIs out on our lake because of the call volume. So we want to remind people, obviously, we want you to have fun. but please drink responsibly. Please be aware of your surroundings and the people that are around you having a good time as well. And yeah, that's
well, it is an important conversation. It's an important conversation to have with our community because we know people just want to have a good time. They want to relax. All of our residents work hard, but the truth is please don't take advantage of the fact that we are a private lake. We still will hold you accountable. We still will have the sheriff department come out here. We will still have CHP come out and do an evaluation of someone that we make a vessel stop on that appears to be inebriated. And you know, and so we want you to know that you have to vote responsibly. Like the director of public safety said, he basically said that if this happens, then we're going to get a lot more law enforcement out here. We're going to really start focusing on that issue if it becomes an issue. But if it's not an issue, we're just asking you to be responsible out there. But we should address this topic. We want you to be responsible. And so let's just keep having a great time and being responsible.
Yes.
The next question we have is, so basically, you have one of the largest departments in our organization. It's the public safety department. You then have seasonal employees, which is a handful of lifeguards, and then you have to hire a handful of officers to basically try to be everywhere at one time, which is impossible to do. Right. But we do hire a significant amount of seasonal workers. In hiring seasonal workers and more staff, you're going to have discrepancies. Right. As much, I've been in your shoes before, as much as you try your best to eliminate anything out there, you're going to have some residents that see something that they may not agree with. How would you like residents to go about describing or notifying our organization of discrepancies that they see? Whether they see an officer doing something that they shouldn't be doing, they see something that they just don't agree with, how do you recommend that they address that issue?
Well, I recommend they address getting a supervisor involved immediately. And we have corporals, sergeant, lieutenant, and obviously myself as the interim director. Getting a supervisor involved, we can get the information at first-hand value at the beginning of any instance that happens. And I want to make sure that a supervisor is involved. That way they can relay that information to me. I can reach out to the public or whoever is the concerned resident and do a follow-up and really touch base with them, have a human touch in regards to the issue, and try to resolve the issue as fast as possible. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, we want accountability for any actions that don't represent our department. I want them to be resolved as quickly as possible, and by doing that and talking to the supervisor and then bringing it to me, I feel like that is the most applicable way to handle it.
Gotcha. So we both agree we're really big on accountability. One of the things that I am seeing often is when you have a board of directors and an HOA, generally residents are like, hey, I elected these individuals and I want to tell them about my problem. And so I want the community to know that we don't want you to not want to communicate with the board of directors, but we do want you to follow an organizational structure, which includes notifying our leadership team that's on the ground, that actually works here, and notifying them, and then giving them the opportunity to solve that problem. And then after they solve that problem, I strongly recommend, whether good or bad, that you communicate with the board member that you choose, or the full board, if you like, and tell them how your experience was. But I do ask that when you have an issue with the public safety department or with any department of our organization, that you go to our leadership and you ask for a resolution and you tell them what the issue was. I'd love to hear that you went to the director of public safety on an issue, and then you give the director of public safety an opportunity to solve the problem, and then you come back to me and notify me of how that was handled, because I want to know how our team, our interim director, or our director of any department is handling situations. And so we're not asking you not to go to the board. We want the board to know. I'm pretty confident that at least 9 out of 10 times we're going to do an amazing job. And so when we drop the ball, and we more than likely will, because we're not perfect, we want to be great, tell us. We're all adults here. Tell us when we mess up. Give us an opportunity to fix it. Mr. Director of Public Safety, I want to thank you for your time. I appreciate you coming down and having genuine discussions with the GM. If there's something you guys want to hear on this series of discussions with the GM, I have about 3 individuals from committees that are going to be coming down and talking with us. Tell us what you want to hear. Tell us what you want to hear about. Who do you want to hear us talk to? You can email info@svla.com and tell us your feedback. Please like, share, and subscribe to all of our social media, and make it a great day.
And if you have any issues in regards to public safety, you can contact us at 760-245-6400. It's a 24/7 department. You could also reach out to me on my email. It's going to be cpartridge@svla.com. You guys have a blessed day.